Hello everybody, it's Adam here for A Strings YouTube channel. Today is Tuesday, the 9th of July 2024. It's not when we're filming it, but it will be for you tomorrow, today, right now, maybe even yesterday. You'll be watching this maybe in a year's time. Time travel, baby. Today is the release of Fender's brand new Player 2 series. The Player 2s are the continuation, the upgradation, the improvementation of the Player series. The Ensenada-built Mexican Wonder instruments that sell and sell and sell. They are the first Fender badged instrument that you can get from their series, from their Far Eastern Squires to their Americans and custom shops and beyond. These are incredible instruments, and they have made a few improvements, but have made a massive difference. So we're going to have a look. We're going to have a look at the colours. We've got a couple of sound samples of each, even though the pickups are the same as what's in the players. So if it's a tone test, we're not going to be getting anything different to what we had in the player series, but there is a change. So let's look at the models, some of the new colours, and then I will talk about what they've changed in the series. In the series, we have the staples in Strats, Tellies, Jazz, Jags. We've got HSS and HH for our Strat and Tellies. No doubt in the future we will get HSH and Floyd Rose Strats as well. In the basses, we've got Jazz, we've got Precisions, we've got Mustangs, and we've also got Mustangs in guitars. Don't forget the Mustangs, some of the coolest instruments out there. And so our model line is exactly the same as what we had in the players. No doubt there will be some limited editions in the Player 2s as well, so keep an eye out for stuff like that. But the big difference is our colour selection. Now, black, sunburst and white we know are going to be continuing through, and we've actually got black and sunburst here with us today in the Jazzmaster and the Telecaster, but everything else is changing. Everything's changing but you, a great philosopher once said. The colour changes are as follows. Taking over from Tide Pool Blue is Aquatone Blue. That is this on the HH Telly in my hands. Very, very close to the Miami Blue in the American Pro 2 series. We think that's where they've got the kind of that palette from, is the Miami Blue. Very, very popular American Pro 2 color. The green, now there wasn't a green in the Player 1 series. There was a Cosmic Jade in the Player Plus series, which is now discontinued. But going over to a green hue is the Birch Green, which is this on the Stratocaster just to my left, your right. There it is there. Taking over from what would have been the buttercream. So the buttercream was that kind of like stained off-white, yellowy kind of color. We liked it. It was kind of a cool way of getting that nicotine-stained white guitar. Taking over from that is the Hialeah yellow. Now we think we're saying Hialeah, right? We had a conversation before we started rolling. Hialeah. If it's wrong, so be it. Let us know in the comments and what it is in reference to. But Hialeah, we think. So that is what is on the Jaguar behind me. Now this one is the one we're not sure about. Now it looks great in some, and we think it looks great on the Jags. Others we're like, we are not too sure. The jury is out on some of the models, but on the Jag with the kind of matching color pickups, we think it's really, really cool. Taking that kind of Fiesta Red mantle is the Coral Red. So behind me is the Coral Red. Now the Coral Red's an interesting one because there hasn't really been a staple red in the Player series for a long time. There was a couple of candy apples in the bases recently. You kind of never see a Fiesta Red unless it's like a classic vibe, or then you jump up to like a limited edition or then a custom shop. So it's quite cool that they've gone a little bit kind of towards that Fiesta Red-ish kind of thing. It's kind of like Fiesta Red, Dakota Red. But anyway, that's Coral Red, and that is on the HSS just behind me there. Again, a very, very cool color. And like I said, along with our staple pieces, our sunbursts, blacks, and our whites, we are all there. The other thing, unlike the last Player series as well, is that the Jaguar and the Jazzmaster are featuring their traditional pickup sets. So on the last series, we were getting sort of humbuckers, humbucker singles, that kind of thing. Now it is the traditional Jazzmaster pickups and the Jaguar singles. So that's really, really cool as well. Aside from that, the biggest change that Fender have made is the decision to not only go back to rosewood instead of the POW. If you follow things like the CITES regulations and that kind of thing, you'll know that there are easings of regulations which are allowing manufacturers to bring in rosewood, again without any tedious paperwork and that kind of thing. But apart from the rosewood taken over back from the POW, all of the Player 2 series, regardless of model, shape, whichever, have rolled fretboard edges. Now, if you're not sure what rolled fretboard edges are, you could probably guess by my action there as I was talking about it. What they do in the manufacturing process is they actually soften the edge of your fretboard. So what would be a hard edge along the top and bottom of your neck and fretboard is softened and rolled to feel like it's played in, which would naturally happen over time. But again, it's a lot of playing time, it's a lot of playing hours and time. So the difference I have found personally between these and the player ones, which we have still got in the store, so we're able to compare and contrast, is apart from they're more comfortable, especially if you're a thumb over player like I am for some stuff, much more comfortable. It kind of gives the illusion that the neck is slimmer. Now, they're all the same. They're all Modern C 9.5 radius, keeping things simple across the board. But things like the Telecaster, where it was a maple fingerboard, maple neck, one thing, the neck felt a lot smaller. And whether it's just where I didn't feel that edge sort of under my fingers, and then sort of, you know, on the tops and bottoms, where I didn't feel a hard edge, maybe it felt a bit smaller, which is weird. It's a weird thing when all they've done is soften that edge. Whatever it is, it feels great to play. It feels comfortable and it feels played in, and it's a winner. That this, just a small thing like this, is making a world of difference. And actually, price points are staying the same. So where the players were is where the player twos are going to be. So you're not getting rolled edges, but a price hike. We're keeping them the same. Now, biggest change aside, we're also going for the Fender Classic Gear tuners. So these tuners were originally put on the American Performers. So they're a vintage style tuner, but they're actually the top locking. So there is no screws in the back at all going into the back of the headstock. They're top locking there, and they may be a locator pin in the back. I'll have to have a little look. But essentially, it's a modern tuner, completely modern tuner with the vintage style look. So completely transforms the look of the instrument. It's funny how such a subtle thing like that, keystone shape, makes a difference, and it really does. I think they look brilliant. Everything looks much more vintage, which is cool, because we're all backwards facing, really, aren't we? Yes, most of us anyway. So that really is a quick overview of what the Player 2s are about. It's dead simple. New tuners, modern but vintage looking. Brilliant, that's what we want. That's what we want. We want a vintage looking but higher performance, or high performance machinery. That's what we'll call it. Rosewood fretboards on our rosewood boards. Obviously, when we're on maple, we're not getting it, but that's fine. And our rolled edges. So that's it. 3 major changes. Obviously, if you're looking at your offsets, you're going to be looking at the differences in pickups. But from conversations we've had with customers, if someone wants a Jag or a Jazz, they want a Jag or a Jazz. They don't want something with humbuckers in necessarily. So that is it. We are overall impressed, bowled over. Yes, those things. Excited by this new range. Yes, we are. The jury's out on a couple of colours, but hey, one person's trash is another man's treasure, and as my brother would say, don't yuck my yum. So if you love a colour, hey, you love a colour and that's your colour, and we will help you buy that colour. Speaking of, we are A-Strings. We are a music shop in South Wales in the UK. It's astrings.co.uk. That's all one word, astrings.co.uk. Come and say hello. Come and check out all of these guitars. We've got nearly all of the guitars in nearly all of the colours available in store and online from today, tomorrow for us, maybe yesterday for you. Time travel, baby. We're on Facebook. That's Facebook. It's A-Strings Guitar Specialists. And we're on TikTok and we're on Instagram at A-Strings UK, Tom. Is that right? That's right. Our Instagram is very, very cool. You get pictures and videos every day. TikTok, I think we do videos as much as we can. And Facebook is where we do our live streams every week. You can come and say hello, check in, see what's new in the shop. We do walkarounds and we get to see all the new gear and generally just take the mick out of each other. And that's kind of how it goes. So that is it. We hope you enjoyed the video. A very, very quick look at the Player 2 series from Fender. check them out. Check them out on our website. If you're local, if you're close by, come down, try them out. Try it next to a Player One. Because, and what the conversation we've had is, where we have improvements and changes, we're losing things, basically colors. So we're losing a color choice. So you may want the Tide Pool, maybe slightly closer to a Lake Placid blue. You may want the buttercream, and so your decision will be swayed in a certain way based on those. But yeah, come down, try them out. I have been Adam for A Strings. It's been a pleasure to talk to you today. You've been very, very quiet, but I've tried my best. And that's it. We'll see you in the next video very, very soon. Bye-bye.